Hey there, podcast listeners. Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to podcast 19. Today I am joined by Anonymous Phil.
Hey.
Alright, as always, this podcast broke down in 3 parts. First we have the news, then we have the comments, then we have some more news, and possibly we'll talk about how our weeks are doing, but Phil's in a hurry. But these podcasts, you know how they go. Anyways,
We'll try to keep it under 30 minutes.
So the first, we are going to hit 30 minutes. I need watch time. Considering how bad the last videos have been performing, we need as much watch time as possible.
I feel like people get bored too often. They're like, what? An hour of this?
It won't be an hour. We've never had an hour podcast.
Oh, we've gotten within 5 minutes.
Can we hit an hour today?
No. When you have an assignment due at 11:59 and it's 8 o'clock at night or 7:30 at night.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, but it'll be like 8:30 when we're done if we make it last an hour.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
9 o'clock by the time I start, that's only 3 hours.
Why is it going to take you a half hour to start?
Well, I mean, like, by the time you get out of here, we'll be talking or whatever at the door, like, come on, just go home, let me start my homework.
Fine. A chip made with carbon nanotubes, not silicon, makes a computing milestone. Ooh. So after reading this, it didn't really mention if these can be smaller than silicon. What were you googling there?
Well, I was just gonna type our qubits real.
What? Why?
Because Google said they created them, and then they rejected their claim.
No. They solved the problem. It doesn't mean they didn't make qubits. We've had qubits forever.
Like an actual quantum bit that has 3 states.
Yeah, I thought. Well, yeah. There's a whole business where they're selling quantum computer chips.
Continue.
Anyways, well, so it didn't say if these can be smaller than modern transistors, but because again you're going to run into quantum tunneling. But does quantum tunneling vary in materials? Do you know?
Probably.
Okay.
I imagine so. For different atoms, I don't know. Different properties.
Because I mean.
I don't know that much about it.
Yeah. Well, cause, like nanotubes can get like really small. Like we're talking the distances like 0.1 nanometers, 0.4 nanometers. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, right now we're on like 7 nanometers. So we're talking, that's a whole order of magnitude smaller.
7 nanometers to 0.4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they can still function at that, but that level I was reading, that's what like they were talking about if you could use them as superconductors, but that's how close they're going to be before we start getting superconductive properties. So maybe at that level you wouldn't want them to be that close because now you're going to be running into problems where you're going to get quantum tunneling. Wow, your stomach is upset.
No. It's just hungry. You'd have dinner.
You had that cookie. You're fine. You'll be fine. Anyways, right now they said these transistors made with these carbon nanotubes are on par with the chips made in the 1980s.
Huh.
Wow, you are incredibly hungry.
Yes.
The 1980s. Woo!
What?
1980s computer chips.
They had computer chips?
That's useless.
Is it really like a chip, or is it like a big, like, just like another computer?
Oh my gosh. I wonder if, so it says the carbon nanotube processors could run 3 times faster while consuming 1/3 the energy of their silicon processors. So think about it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So the fastest consumer grade chip, single threaded performance, as near as I can tell, is still the Intel i9-9900K, and runs at 5.1 gigahertz at boost speed. Okay, so 3 times faster. So we're talking 15 gigahertz.
Fastest single processor.
I guess I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't Google that because you're not gonna get what you're looking for.
Fastest CPU.
I don't know. I still wouldn't just Google that at all.
Why?
Because now, okay. AMD's new is now the world's fastest CPU. See,
32 cores, 64
but see,
threads.
multi-threaded performance though.
It's 3.4 gigahertz.
But see, that's the fastest multi-threaded performance.
What was Intel's?
Intel i9-9900K.
Intel i9900.
No. i9-9900K. i0, what?
i9. Sorry, I hit the 0.
And then look up stats.
Yeah, let's do the i0.
Hey, Intel! No, but zero's not an odd number. I mean, i1.
Well, it's the same. With a turbo boost of up to 5.
The Threadripper's boost is 3.4, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, so then it's the same. It's the
But
same.
no. Single-threaded performance, the i9 will blow it out of the water. Multi-threaded performance, no. Because the
Oh.
Threadripper has 64 threads.
Yeah.
64 cores. No, 64 threads, 32 cores.
Yes.
They also might have just outdone themselves with the latest version of with their latest line of processors. Threadripper, I think, is basically obsolete.
Uh-huh.
But yes, Intel still has as far. I don't see. But AMD just came out with a new processor that's supposed to compete with it. But see, it doesn't. It's still not as fast though. I don't know. But see, these are still gigahertz.
Yeah.
But that processor that AMD came out with, it has a lower boost speed, but because the transistors are closer together and because the CPU architecture is improved, it's just faster, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it will blow Intel out of the water in multi-thread performance. It'd be Ryzen 9.
What is this? According to the
Maybe it is.
Inquirer, AMD's Ryzen.
You're going to the Inquirer.
Yeah,
You need
the Inquirer.
You need to watch Linus's video when the AMD processors just came out because he compares them and it's hard because they still say though in their videos flat out right now best for gaming is Intel, but if
Yeah.
you want gaming and workstation you go AMD. But flat out right now Intel is still the best for gaming. But again, that's not gigahertz is just how fast, how many times the processor does a. Well, this is clock speed. So that's how many operations each transistor does per second.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you built an i9 but with carbon nanotubes, say you have the same distance, which is 14 nanometers.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it 14 or 12 on? I think it's 14 on the i9. 14 nanometers. It's faster. AMD runs at 7 though.
7 gigahertz?
9 nanometers.
Nanometers.
So half. Intel isn't even. Intel just finally kind of sort of released their 10 nanometer process chips for laptops. Laptops only though.
Yeah.
It is still going to be a while before they release the rest of them, and we all know that they're still going to be garbo compared to. Well, maybe I don't want to say garbo because they're still maybe. I still think they're going to be. They have to be faster than AMD because the i9. Okay, they come out with a new i9. That i9 has to be faster than the previous i9, otherwise there's no point.
Yeah.
Well, the i9 is already in non-multi-threaded performances faster than AMD.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess what they're talking is price to performance wise. So maybe price to performance wise, it won't be that good, but it will still be top of the line
Mm-hmm.
because it has to be faster. It can't be slower. That would defeat the purpose.
Now they're going to make it slower in single-threaded performance, but Oh no. Faster in single-threaded performance, but slower in multi-threaded performance.
Well, that would be cutting the cores in half.
Yeah.
You cut your cores and threads in half. So go back to quad core instead of 8-core processors. Woo! Just what we want.
Yeah.
No, one core.
Bicore. One core, core.
One
Monocore.
One core.
Monocore processor.
When was the last time they made a monocore processor?
Monocore processor.
When was the last time?
A single core processor.
What was the last time they sold a single core processor?
Wikipedia doesn't. Oh, since 2012, most smartphone CPUs no longer are single core.
Okay, so the last time
Microcontrollers are still single core, with a few exceptions.
Well, yeah, I guess I kind of forgot. Like a speed controller you'd buy for a drone, or not a what the heck is it called? Actually, are Raspberry Pis multi-core?
Yeah.
I guess there's so many different types of Raspberry Pis.
Yeah.
I'm sure one of them is a dual core.
Maybe there's one that's like 128 core.
What? No.
A monstrous Raspberry.
No, they just AMD just released a server chip. That's, oh my god, it's what is it? Is it 64 64?
64. Yeah, just double that.
No, I'm thinking. I remember the thread count. Yep, 64 cores. Because I remember the thread count was 128. It was 64 cores, and so Intel's the closest one Intel has is 28 cores. The Intel chip is $10,000. The AMD chip is $7,000.
It's a lot of money.
The AMD one has faster clock speed, faster everything.
Yeah,
This Intel one is just,
it's still a lot of money.
you can't game on it though, not very well. Because the single thread performance is trash.
It's gonna be quite a few shifts I'll have to work. Like more than 2.
You could, but guess how many, okay, get that one processor, guess how many gigs of RAM it supports?
0.5.
No, give an actual guess. Guess how many gigs of RAM you could give it.
2 32-bit slots. Or 30.
No. Okay, so it's 8 channel memory, which means you can give it 16 sticks of RAM.
16 sticks of 8 gigs.
No, whatever. No. It does. Don't think about the gigs of RAM. Think about RAM total. How much do you think you can give it?
Just about a terabyte.
Take that times
1,028.
Take that times 4.
4 terabytes? Why'd you ask how many gigabytes?
Huh? I didn't ask. I said how much RAM.
They said gigabytes.
No, I said
I
how
thought
much
originally
RAM.
when you phrased your question, you were like gigabytes. That's what I was thinking, gigabytes.
That's okay.
4K.
One terabyte is
So just
128.
so
right?
can you buy?
1,028.
Wait, can you buy 2K sticks?
No. No, and you want to take advantage of the 8-channel memory.
Oh, you do?
Yes. How many gigabytes are there in a terabyte?
1,028.
That's what I thought. Times 4. Divide that by 16.
You could have just divided that by 4.
257. So yes, you would give it.
Or
What? Can you even get
12.
257 in DDR4,
What?
I don't think you can even get DDR4 RAM that is 257 gigs sticks. That's not even possible.
Hmm?
Well, to feed it 4 terabytes
Yeah.
of RAM, you need a 257 stick. I don't think you can. I don't think they even make that. Do they?
Beats me. You're the one who's always on Amazon. You tell me.
I'll Google it. I'll Google it later. It's obviously whatever it is. It's gonna be slow as molasses. If it is real,
Slowest pitch.
slow as.
Pitch.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, I just had to beat you slower.
Look at the clock.
16 minutes.
We burned 20 minutes talking about processors. Okay, on to the comments.
This podcast is slower than pitch.
On the last podcast, episode 18. Tell me if I missed any comments. I think I got everything.
I
There
think you
weren't
missed
very-
mine.
You didn't leave one. There weren't very many, so but I feel like that there might have been other videos that I uploaded that I didn't read. But I don't know, whatever. The one walk on. If you die from strep throat,
The wall
you're
comment.
weak. Whatever.
The wall. It sounded like
The water
wall.
bottle said, "If you die from strep throat, you are weak."
Pretty much. Sums it up.
You die from strep throat. Okay. Why YouTube changed? By the way, go watch it. It has 6 views. I know it's been like 2 weeks by the time this came out, but like seriously, go watch.
Wait, why did it change?
What do you mean?
Why did YouTube change?
Reason. I don't remember. Anyways, there are 2 comments, which is more than I figured there would be. Anyways, Watermelon commented, "I would actually buy the $1 candy bar because I do not want the pesky penny. Hashtag abolish the penny." He did not get the heart for this comment. The heart for this comment for this video went to Dr. Sheep's #1 fan. Bravo, Dr. Sheep. Very good content. Thank you. But I'm kind of disappointed you didn't use an example of trim, pre-finished versus unfinished, and the time value of money for a guest to stain their own trim. Haha, darn economics. Well, it wasn't a video about economics. It was a video about YouTube using economics to explain it.
Oh, I remember that video. I think I fell asleep on the floor.
Yes, you did.
I fell asleep on the floor when you're making it.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes. And I was like, come on, get. I remember editing. I was like, you better get up and get ready for the podcast. Anyways, I can't believe we're on the 19th podcast. Oh my gosh, I just realized that.
Yeah. I can't believe we're almost about to hit 19 minutes.
I can believe it.
Let's roll. Come on.
Oi! Chill the H out, alright? The pesky penny. That is something. Is it rational to buy the $1 candy bar because you don't want to deal with the penny? Instead,
Are we no. Wait. We need to put the U.S. under.
so use the penny.
Yeah, just keep using the penny.
You heard it here, folks. Keep using pennies.
Eventually, we'll switch entirely to digital.
I don't want that.
Why?
Because then you can't launder money.
Yeah, there'll be no counterfeit until people start making counterfeit bank cards.
Hold on. Wouldn't it be really easy for people to just start counterfeiting money then?
No. Money would no longer be. You could no longer use it. Money would be outlawed.
Yeah, but couldn't you not counterfeit like bills? I'm talking like counterfeit digital currency.
Oh, you mean like hack into your bank account and like trick it to think you have more money?
And just give yourself more money.
I've thought about that. I've always wondered like if that was actually possible.
Don't incriminate yourself now here. Okay?
No.
Be careful what you
I've
say.
I've always wondered if that was actually possible.
Are you sure it is?
For someone to like hack in and like, or even no. What you do, if you don't want to get caught, you get a gift card. You get a gift card because the gift card won't have your name attached to it, and you figure out a way to digitally download or trick the computer into like not using the money or something. It's like when you swipe it, it always just has the same amount. The computer thinks it's getting the money, but it's really not.
That sounds actually dangerous. That sounds really dangerous. You could just literally walk around, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Do you realize
The computer would think it. You'd send a signal, make the computer think like it actually got like say $20 or whatever. But in reality, that $20 is still on the card. It never actually transferred. It just sent the code or whatever to trick the computer into thinking it got the money.
Oh my gosh. So now you just gotta get like a Visa card that has like $1 billion on it from Jeff Bezos.
No, you don't even need $1 billion. You just need like $2 on it.
No, you don't want to hit the withdrawal limit.
Oh yeah.
You need $2 billion.
So you can just keep maxing it out.
Well, no,
Alright, when are you ever going to spend $2 billion at one store on one transaction?
I want to buy an island. I want to buy multiple.
I'm just saying.
I want to buy a third world country.
The
Remember,
maximum amount that you need on that card is the max you're ever going to pay in one transaction. Otherwise, you can split up into 2 days.
remember, we've discussed GDP. You can buy several countries with $2 billion.
Oh yeah,
There are multiple countries in the world.
we talked about how many countries Jeff Bezos could own. It was like every single country, like what, below 40th or something like
Well,
that.
it was a bunch. I don't remember.
Oh no, let's not look at it now. But yeah,
Well, okay, no, you couldn't buy them at once, but you could buy the one country.
yes, yeah. He could buy all of them.
He could only buy like a small portion.
Mm-hmm.
But if he had the kind of money that Rockefeller had, which is $400 billion, if that's true.
Or the Egyptian Mansu or whatever.
If you had $400 billion, you could almost buy Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you could do it still.
Yeah.
So so actually,
I hope they just didn't like give a whole bunch of like computer whiz up there with an idea like, man, I'm gonna figure out how to reprogram a gift card.
I'm sure it's not possible because gift cards don't have microprocessors on them. Like your normal bank card has a microprocessor on there.
Yeah.
If it had a microprocessor on there, you could flash the processor to do that.
Yeah. Make your own card.
But you can't. But see, then it'd be a debit card, which your information is attached to it. Then.
Which is exactly why I said a gift card, or like one of those Visa cards you can buy, because a gift card can only be used at that store, whereas a Visa card you only need one card, you can take it wherever.
Right. But so like you'd have to trick the machine.
Exactly.
You could tell the card couldn't do anything because the magnetic strip only contains your information, which tells the computer to tell the bank holder of the card to withdraw this amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tell the computer, if you could tell the bank, or if you could tell the machine that you withdrew the money, but without telling the bank, yes.
That's essentially what you're doing.
But the card couldn't do that. The card just tells you what bank to withdraw it from. So you'd have to like interrupt the signal between the chip and the server.
But see, what would really like happen though is like I feel like we go into like hyperinflation or something, because then money would just like start appearing out of nowhere. Because now, if everything is digital, the computers that businesses are using will say they actually have $20 in it. They actually got the purchase. Your bank would continuously keep having money, but your computer or whatever would always have your bank account would never drop, but yet on the same hand, the business, their bank account would keep increasing. They keep making a profit because they keep seeing money rolling in. But what would end up happening is that people would realize, I don't need to work anymore. There's no reason for me to do my job if I'm like never losing money.
I just thought about why this doesn't happen. So you'd have to install some sort of piece of hardware onto, say, a Walmart, for example, that when you slide your card, picks up on that signal. It's like, oh, that's the card. I don't tell the bank that he withdrew money, but I tell Walmart that he withdrew money.
So you need like a separate hardware piece?
So you need a piece of hardware to set in that information flow that will know your card's information, so that when it goes through, it stops the signal from going to the bank, but it sends the same signal that the bank would send to Walmart. But you'd have to do this at every single
Because the machine tells the bank,
right?
not the card.
Well, no. Nobody would tell the bank. The bank has no idea. That $200 you see
But the machine though. The machine of Walmart is telling Walmart.
Is telling the bank that I need this amount.
But what about a Visa card? Like, where is the amount of that Visa card stored? Is that like in some cloud?
That's stored on a server. Say Visa has servers somewhere
that's connected with your card numbers, info, or whatever.
That contains your information, and your information, I would assume, is backed up on multiple servers, which could be tricky. But considering it is backed up on multiple servers, you could theoretically figure out a way to
need to hack into the server.
Well, look. So say you have say your information is stored on 3 servers, and you have $300 on each card, on the card. Well, you have 3 different locations that all say you have $300.
Yeah.
And they all have to then communicate with each other. If you could stop that flow somehow, and then you go to one server, drain its supply. You go to a different server, drain its supply. Go to a different server, and drain its supply. So now you have $900 instead of $300. Now you have to drive around to multiple different locations if you knew what server each one of those locations was connected to. If your information is stored on multiple servers, I doubt it is.
Yeah.
Considering how gosh darn long it takes that machine to freaking get my information. I'm like, dude, you're probably sending a few words of code, alright? I'm sure the encryption on that code is more data than the actual information you're sending to the server. Are we incriminating ourselves by developing ways that we could potentially use to generate infinite amounts of money? Yes, potentially.
Not if we delete this podcast.
No. Well, there is another idea. So, depending on like how Walmart's internet provider works, the information has to go to a server.
Yeah.
For that internet provider. That information will then be rerouted by that server to the servers at the bank or a different server. It might ping around for a while.
Yes.
So theoretically, if you set your hardware on the inlet of this server, we're talking like basically another server, because it has to scan through all the information the server is getting, and it's looking for your little bit of code in this massive mound of coding.
Yeah.
So you need basically a second server to redirect this code into and send it back. And any data management system will realize, that code's, our signal's slower. And then they'll go and they'll discover your machine or your proxy server. They'll figure that out really quick. So that's not really ideal. There's a reason why this doesn't happen. It can be found very quickly, very easily, because it would slow down data so much. But you could feasibly do it to one Walmart, I think. Or one gas station if you just want infinite amounts of gas. But
just start taking a trash can and just filling up a 50-gallon trash can of just gas.
No, it has to be approved, otherwise they'll come out and stop you.
What do you mean?
Well, it has to be an approved container.
Oh.
Otherwise the gas attendant will be like, yeah, bro, you can't do that. It's like
well, you do it at midnight or whatever, 2 a.m.
No, you show up with a semi-truck. It's like, sir, what are you doing? Buying gas. It's like, why do you need a semi-truckload of gas? It's like, why do you need a semi-load of why do you need a semi-load's worth of gas? It's like, yeah, you just have all the pipe. You just buy connectors for all the pipes at the station. You just hook it up to the freaking thing. They're all running at the same time. The gas then just comes out. It's like, what the heck are you doing out there?
I'm just buying some gas.
I might have sworn, actually. when I was pretending to be the gas attendant, I might have sworn and said the F word.
Oh,
I'm gonna hate myself editing. Perfect. 30 minutes.
Nice.
I did that on purpose.
Alright, podcast over.
No, actually, I don't know if we've discussed this one before.
Was that all the comments?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. So we're done.
No, we have one more news topic. I don't remember if we've discussed this one before. We might have. A predicted superconductor might work at a record-breaking 200 degrees Celsius.
Oh, I have not heard about this. No.
This was back in August 30th, so I don't think we have. Cause
We talked about superconductors before. I don't know if we talked about the record breaking.
But, okay, guess what pressure it works at, though?
50 atmospheres.
No.
More or less?
More.
10 tera atmospheres.
Actually, that's about right.
Tera atmospheres?
2.5 million times the pressure of Earth's atmosphere.
That's mega.
My bad. I can't math. I was like, that's better! You were off by several. Sorry. One, yes.
So what's the number?
You were telling me trillions!
Yeah.
Wait, yes, because giga is billions, right?
Yes.
And then giga. Oh, meg is mega giga. Yeah, never mind.
You good?
Yes. Why would you guess trillions?
You said bigger.
So wait, a terabyte has a trillion bytes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, 1.5 million times the pressure of Earth's atmosphere. 2.5 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's useless.
Wait, what was the pressure again?
2.5 million times the pressure of Earth's atmosphere.
That's what it works at?
Yeah.
That's what it has to be at? Or
I
that's,
don't.
or
Okay.
that's the max
Let's read
pressure
it.
it can withstand?
No. That's like the pressure it needs to work at, I think.
Oh my goodness.
So superconductors needed for cool conditions makes them difficult to use. So physicists, I would think they'd be material scientists,
Mhm.
are on a quest to find a superconductor that can stand the heat, which could revolutionize how electricity is transmitted and save vast amounts of energy. It would save a tremendous amount. In the newly predicted superconductor, a compound of hydrogen, magnesium, and lithium comes with its own complications, however. It must be squeezed to an extremely high temperature of nearly 2.5 times the pressure of the Earth's atmosphere. But it doesn't... It doesn't say, though, if
If what?
it needs to be like that all the time, or if that's just used to synthesize it.
Hmm.
Oh, look, we did discuss it before. That's the one we just discussed previously.
New hydrogen-rich compound. Maybe a record. We talked about that?
Yes.
Alright, so tell me about this.
Well, okay, we did... I find these are all really hydrogen rich. Even this one over here. No, I think we discussed this. It wasn't Kyle and I. I think it was you. I think you and I discussed this.
Probably.
But this one, I think it's the one over here. Actually, they mentioned here that works at minus 3 degrees Celsius, 13 degrees. But I think, but see, they're all. If you've noticed, they're all hydrogen rich. Well, hydrogen,
Mm-hmm.
when it's in metallic state, after being squeezed at millions and millions of times through its atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
does become a metal, and then when that pressure is released, it stays a metal, and it's a superconductor at room temperature.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just the sheer amounts of hydrogen. But see, all of these, the way they make it sounds like they have to be squeezed to these incredibly high pressures. The pressure can't be pulled off,
Mm-hmm.
which is useless.
Yes.
Literally useless. So I think, congratulations. Now you have one that works at 200 degrees Celsius. That's literally hotter than anything we're ever going to need. Now, can you work on making it so that it works at any atmosphere? Works in a vacuum, please. Okay? Once you do that, we just need to figure out how to synthesize it. And then we have But I was curious, and carbon nanotubes do superconduct.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, they do.
should we waste our time trying to make these compounds, or just mass-produce nanotubes?
I don't know. Well, there's also boron nitrate nanotubes that are supposedly even stronger than.
Yes, we've discussed these before.
Yes. So I think we should invest our time in other nanotubes.
But like, no, whatever the cheapest to produce that will superconduct, let's just make those. Just for wires, just for wiring.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just make those. Why don't
produce them?
why don't we just do that? If we know they can superconduct and we know they work at whatever temperature, whatever pressure we want, just make them. Is this carbon? It's just carbon? There's carbon all around us. There's carbon everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's literally carbon in the atmosphere that's causing problems. If we pulled the carbon dioxide out of the air, turn the carbon dioxide into just carbon.
You saw that SpongeBob episode. Why don't we just take Bikini Bottom and just move it somewhere else?
They did though, and then the worm landed on it anyway. They did. They moved it, and then it got landed on it, and the worm landed on it anyways.
Yeah.
It killed everybody. No, but seriously, why don't we just take the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere
And just move it somewhere else into a wire.
and turn the carbon in the nanotubes and turn that into wire, which then, if we replace with our super large cables that we transmit power between power
We
plants
can
with,
just move those somewhere else.
the power we save from that we can use to pull the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. Or once everything's nanotubes, now we're saving so much electricity, we're pumping less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and by that point everything's solar anyways, and we're not the only
I don't know about solar.
Well, solar and wind and fusion by this point, I mean, problem solved. 2050. Dr. Sheep for president. 2036. Vote for me. Problem solved. If we
You'll
start.
be like the youngest president.
I would be. Guys, listen to me. Listen.
Roosevelt was 42.
Actually, you know what? Let's get an amendment moved so I can be president like after I graduate college. All right. Subscribe. Get people to subscribe. We're gonna start a movement. I am announcing my candidacy for president right here, right now. I'm sure it's not even official because you can't see my face, but I am announcing my candidacy. Dr. Sheep for president, 2024. If we get the amendment moved.
Yeah, let's make the new amendment like 12.
21. No, 21.
Oh, 21?
21.
21.
If you could drink, you could be the president.
Yes.
What?
Yes, those two numbers
Fun
don't.
fact: there's no age limit on governor in Kansas. They had like a 12-year-old running for governor in Kansas, and actually, everybody liked him. He just didn't have any money, and so he didn't become governor because he didn't have enough money to raise for his campaign.
That's what it is these days. It's all campaign.
But like everybody's like, this kid's a genius.
Hey,
Didn't
well,
have
there's
enough money.
actually a town. I forget what state it is. It's in. It's like Minnesota or something. But it's such a small town. They literally have a dog as their mayor.
Do you remember the Detour?
Yeah.
Or the llama or the alpaca was mayor of that Alaskan town.
Yeah.
And then, did you ever see how the Jerub became the mayor?
No.
Well, in a grain eating competition,
What?
he loses, but the alpaca dies because of how much grain it ate. I don't quick. He just keels over.
What movie is this from?
The TV show The Detour.
Oh yeah. We were watching that one day.
Yes, and
Yeah,
the
I was watching
alpaca just keels over, and so the kid becomes mayor.
Yes, I
But
remember
he's
that.
dumber than a bag of rocks. They've made him smarter in the recent season, but
I
he's still
remember that.
dumber than a bag of rocks.
Is
Anyways,
it on Netflix? I'm gonna watch that.
I'm sure it probably is. Oh wait, no, it's TBS. Maybe not. TBS is their own.
I bet I can find it on some like streaming website.
Anyways, yes. So Dr. Sheep for president. Superconductors. We need to start working on nanotubes and turning them into wire. And yeah, problem solved. I'm sure there's no.
That's it?
I'm sure there's no complications in this plan of mine.
That's it. Those are all the problems we need to solve.
Yep.
What about like poverty and all that?
This will fix that.
Oh, there's some fix poverty.
This is like Yang's proposed idea. It all fixes it, and which his does. This one, mine will too. You fix the carbon. I'm gonna be burning here. You take the carbon out of the air. This will fix the rich problem. It'll fix the poverty problem. It'll fix all the problems. Problem solved. Trust me. Carbon dioxide is oppressing people. That's why we have an immigration problem. It's carbon. I sound more like Obama than Bernie, but
Carbon.
carbon. That's the problem. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Pull it out. Turn the carbon nanotubes. Problem solved.
What about all this extra oxygen? Soon the oxygen levels in the atmosphere are going to start to rise. And once we hit like 30%, that's when things literally start to spontaneously combust.
The world
Just
will
like-
burn in a different way.
I mean, animals would get larger. I mean, that's why we have like super big dragonflies that were like the size of a house back then.
Dude, I told you, the hunger problem's solved. Now we're gonna have big cows. Problem solved.
But the people get bigger too.
Not necessarily. We start wearing spacesuits and depriving people of oxygen. We deprive their rights to more oxygen.
What? What? We start depriving the right to air?
Yes.
The first country in the world literally denies its people
that's
the
China.
right
No,
to breathe.
No, that's China.
That's true.
They have a happiness index to determine whether or not people are happy with the air quality and whether China should implement some public policies to fix this.
Alright, let's put more CO2. People are too happy.
They're too dang happy and they're too productive. They're gonna devalue the yang. No. They're gonna raise the. China likes to keep the value of the yang devalued. Oh man, they're gonna raise the value of the yang. We got more CO2. Just take that scrubber off
And
that
what are
tower.
we doing in these spacesuits of ours spontaneously combust?
Don't worry, we're going to build them out of materials that combust at 31%.
But who are the people inside of them that are trying to work on the problem? They will spontaneously combust too.
What do you mean?
All we'll have left is the stupid ones that eat rocks and like lose in grain competitions.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Wait, hold on. No. We already probably have materials that spontaneously combust at 31%, not 30%.
It's not
Problem
exactly
solved.
It wasn't exactly 30. All I was saying is that at 30%, supposedly there's so much oxygen. Oxygen is, like, what, flammable or whatever?
No, it makes things flammable.
It makes things flammable. So, with all this extra oxygen in the air, the friction of running on concrete ignites a fire. We have to start outlawing, like, sports. Because any excessive friction will literally, like, start a fire.
See, and depriving them of oxygen means they can't get fat either, because since they can't do sports. We can weight the suits. Oh, actually, wait, that's a bad idea for your joints. We might have a joint epidemic. Who cares? If you can't walk by the time you're 50, it's fine. If you can't walk or really do anything by the time you're 50, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Actually, if anything, that might, make things better. Because then we'd extend the heat death of the universe because entropy would start to slow down. People will be doing these
I'm
things.
telling you guys, this is the greatest idea we have ever had, depriving people their right of air.
All of a sudden, the universe lives longer.
Yes, I'm sure aliens will see like, dang, these humans are doing a nice job. Well, we gotta put our own policy.
And what was the primary cause of this? Your presidency.
And think about this. With the less oxygen people are consuming, they'll have less they'll need to
brain
be
cells.
no. They won't have to eat as much antioxidants because the free radicals will be less abundant.
I think they'll be eating more.
Which means if they don't have to eat as many antioxidants, and we're making more food, the food epidemic is even solved even further. And they're not fat. We're keeping them skinny by depriving them air. And they can't exercise because the suits are weighted. And that's how we keep them skinny.
What do we do when we have like baseball-sized mosquito-infected malaria? Baseball-sized malaria-infected mosquitoes flying
See,
around.
we make the suits bulletproof.
No, wait,
Then we give everybody.
hold on. No. It's all right. Bill Gates is on the issue, isn't he? Bill Gates is doing something with that.
No. The suits are bulletproof. Then everybody gets a gun.
Hey, now we have the gun policy solved. Everyone gets a gun.
And then the guy who tries to shoot somebody because he's
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
he can't because the suit's bulletproof.
Yes, no one can be shot anymore, and everyone can own a rifle.
Exactly. The policy. No. Take that back.
Wait, hold on. How in war? What about war?
Just bigger bullets.
There's no reason for no. There's no reason for war.
Yes, world peace. Yes,
There's no reason
yes.
for war.
Oh my gosh, we have finally solved the world's problems with one policy.
What's the point of war if you can't kill anyone? Because these suits literally protect you.
Exactly.
No one can die except for natural causes.
We're geniuses. We've solved the world's problems just by depriving people of their right to air. Dr. Sheep, 2024. Let's do this. All right. Get 2024, 2026, 2030, whatever. You know what? Let me dictator too. We don't need Congress.
We're gonna install martial law.
Screw Congress. You're right. Congress will just slow things down and make it more difficult.
You've heard the acronym, or it's not really an acronym. The saying, Congress is the opposite of progress.
The only problem we didn't solve is the economy. We are headed for a recession. I can't see
We
how
saved the economy by letting people, have all this extra currency flowing around.
No.
There's all this extra money flowing around.
No.
There's all this extra money flowing around.
No, we didn't save the economy though. Well, no, because if the government's supplying all the suits, well, actually, no, not necessarily. The government doesn't have to supply suits, I guess, and the government doesn't have to supply guns either. You're just allowed to have one.
But you need people to build the suits. You need people to build the guns. And you need to pay those people.
We can use robots for that.
I don't think robot technology is quite there yet.
Robots can build guns. They do it now.
Yeah, but like mass produce on a.
They do.
So we don't need people at the shops anymore. Like we can
No.
literally. We have a
Guns-
fully autonomous shop.
No, you still need people to sell the guns. Can you imagine if you had a fully autonomous gun shop? That would end terribly.
No. Not if we had these suits around.
True.
Not if we had these suits around.
True. It
That's
wouldn't
what we
matter.
need.
Free guns. Just free guns.
Give them away.
But here we are. We're back to the problem where now the economy's now we've lost the whole gun sector of the economy and that manufacturing district.
Unless we just buy them from other countries. We don't need a shop. We just import them. And then we have an autonomous shop that sells them. Like a vending machine. A gun vending machine.
Gun vending machine. I like that idea. I don't know why I like that idea, but I kind of
A
like
gun
it.
vending machine.
Just like think about this. Oh, I'm gonna get a Coke. Just 4 quarters in, gets a Coke. A Glock. Where's my $1,000 bill? Where's my? Oh, yeah, I have a few $100 bills. It'll be fine. Shh.
No. You use your secret debit card and just pay the ATM and keep the money.
Inflation's over. Inflation's only at 3%. It'll be fine.
Your
Inflation.
order has been processed.
Inflation's only at 3%. It's fine. I can, and then he just gets the gun. and then just uses it as one-time use. You just and it's just
No. Ammunition is extra.
no. It comes with one. It comes with one magazine that's welded in the gun.
What kind of magazine?
Whatever kind of I don't know. Well, variations of magazines. Hey, you want a 100-round drum with your Tommy gun? Here you go.
You get a magazine that holds one shot.
Yes. Yes, you just sell plastic guns at that point. But the point is, you sell a gun that has like one-time use. The mag is like welded and integrated into the gun. You can't take it out. So you
Why
use
not?
it. It's a vending machine gun. Remember, you
Oh,
use it
yes.
once and it's done.
Yes, because it has to be like a vending machine. Once you use it, you're done.
Exactly. Just like you're drinking a Coke. Breaking news today. Plastic's no longer the problem. Used guns are starting to fill up in landfills. What do we do with these? I don't know.
I don't know.
America's gun problem is no longer people dying because we all have these spacesuits. The problem is the amount of guns in the landfills. What do we do? Or recycling? No, I guess you could just recycle them.
Recycle guns. We melt them down and make more guns.
You just melts the gun down. Just yeah. The recycling plant is also the gun manufacturing.
That is so predictive. Let's just melt the gun down and just remake it.
Other news: cigarettes butts are no longer the most common form of litter. The most common form of litter are casings, are spent casings. Why not?
Yes.
President Sheep is about to make a statement. Everything's great. Everything's fantastic. No, sorry. Dictator. My bad. Dictatorship's about to make a statement. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I've reached a verdict. The whole world is now Earth. We are no longer countries, except for China. They refused and refused and refused. So now the whole world's going to go to war with China. Not a good idea because there's like 2 billion people there. Because for whatever reason, they don't believe in reducing the amount of CO2, the amount of oxygen for their people. Instead, they gave them more, which instead of them getting fatter, they became more prolific. I don't understand it. Apparently, they're also the world's largest consumer of blueberries, which have lots of antioxidants. I don't get it. I don't know why they did this. It makes zero sense. As the rest of the world's populations have decreased.
No, that's when you make your kid. You send him to China on like a study abroad trip and make him like you just have him live there. He just becomes a part of the Chinese culture. He becomes a Chinese citizen. Your son then becomes president of China and just decides to resign and give you presidency of China. Now you are in control of China.
So what you're saying is
You need to have a kid and send him to China.
I need to have a kid in every country.
That's only 198 kids. Have you seen the movie The Delivery Man? He had like 500 some kids. Could use a sperm donor.
This is possible.
He had like 500. He could have put a kid
This is possible.
in each country.
I'm gonna have to
And
do it.
some.
I might start with the sperm.
He
bank
could have had
tomorrow.
like a Congress. Just all of his kids.
All right, guys. You know what to do. On your end, you gotta get me famous. All right. And then on my end, I'm gonna go to the sperm bank. Does it sound like I'm doing less work? Well, to have 500 kids, to have 198 kids, I'm gonna need to have a lot of sperm. And
Actually, I think there's 193. There's 193 nations that are recognized by the UN. But then there's also there's
5 more if you can do the math.
no. I don't think there's actually 198. So there's 193 United Nations, but then you also have the Holy See, which makes it 194.
What?
The Holy See, which is where the Vatican City, where the Pope lives.
Oh.
They're technically a nation, but they decline. But they don't want to be part of the General Assembly because they believe that the Catholic Church should not have a right to vote in government affairs or whatever.
Well, we're gonna have to change that. Wait.
You're basically going to say everyone has to be Catholic at that point,
That's true.
which is why they decided to stay out of the General Assembly because they don't want to have a voice.
Catholics already reduce your rights. Now they're reducing your rights even further. Actually, you know what? Catholics are probably the most giving of rights of the religions.
Yeah, see, they're not taking away rights, nor are they giving you rights. They're just
Well, they're taking away your right to vote. I mean, they did. I mean, technically they did. they technically did.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But then you have a number of other countries like Taiwan, Kosovo, Kashmir. They're just kind of like border control. Palestine.
Kashmir isn't on a map.
Actually, what? It's not, or
No.
actually,
Was, but then Pakistan.
there's actually a rule. The Google Map. They actually.
It's on Google Maps. Any map.
It is on
Period.
Google Maps. There's actually a thing.
Wait, Kashmir.
It is actually illegal for India to draw its borders with Pakistan. They have to leave an open border because that is disputed land, and so they use a dotted line.
I thought the U.S. had problems.
They cannot draw a solid line because that would signify that India and Palestine control that area. That is still disputed land owned by Kashmir, and it is actually against their law. There would be like, they could file a copyright or whatever.
Oh my God! Economic problem solved.
What?
India has these problems with Pakistan and China. We also have problems with Pakistan and China. Let's just give India guns. And with
2 billion people running around with guns.
No, there's only 1 billion people. There's only there's almost more people in India than China. They're 1.3. China's like 1.8, 1.9. Sorry, 1.38 or like 1.39, somewhere in there. And India is 1.32. If we just give India guns, they can invade Pakistan, take the oil, use the oil to fuel their war machine across China. We're selling them guns the entire time. China's gonna start denouncing us, but then we're like, I don't know where India's getting these guns and supplies. We'll start giving you guns and supplies. Then we're feeling the war from both sides, but we want India to win, obviously. And when India asks where the heck is China getting these guns, we're like, we don't know. We fuel them, they destroy themselves. India, and then we walk in, and it's like, oh, here's foreign aid, which will fuel the economy. Actually, foreign aid doesn't fuel the economy, but we've already tricked the rest of the world into thinking that these countries need help, even though it's our problem. We don't have to give foreign aid. The rest of the world gives foreign aid. Problem solved. Then we don't have to give any foreign aid. And when those other countries become poor because they're trying to clean up India and China, we march in.
Next thing you know, there are no foreign countries.
There are no foreign countries. The only big problem will be Russia. But all we have to do is just make more vodka. Cheaper vodka than it can be made in Russia.
More vodka.
And then they're all too drunk and depressed to do anything.
More vodka for everybody.
Potato production needs to ramp up. Steel production needs to ramp up. Gun production needs to ramp up.
Carbon nanotube production.
Despite what the Democrats say, guns are the solution. Just not America's solution.
No. Carbon is the solution.
Carbon.
It all starts with carbon.
It all starts with carbon. And steel.
Starts with carbon.
No, wait. You need carbon to make steel? It all starts with carbon! Oh my gosh! I am the greatest public policy writer of all time. We did have to cut out quite a bit there, though.
Yes.
Do you want to hit an hour?
Well, how do we hit? Would we say like 102? Do we hit an hour and 2 minutes, or like I don't know how much extra stuff we have to cut out. Oh, you also have your 30-second ending clip too. Your tree clip.
No, I don't include that.
Oh.
You don't watch the podcast, do you?
I've watched them. I just have not watched them to completion.
This is embarrassing.
Speaking of which, I do recall though we do have an ending segment where we say what they have to mention. It all starts with carbon.
We didn't, carbon. Comment carbon. Your comment is carbon. If you've made it this far, I don't know if anybody. Watch time. We're our farming watch time, ladies and gentlemen. We're farming watch. I had 2 peace teas before doing this podcast.
I've had a little sip of it.
I haven't peed either, so I'm kind of hyped up on sugar right now, and so I'm like, things are moving at 1,000 miles per hour. Obviously, this is all a joke. We're not. Obviously, I will become president. I will become dictator of the world if you really want me to.
But it all starts with carbon.
It all starts with the car. But you gotta remember though. You gotta remember though. I do not condone the actions of going out and shooting people. All right.
Nor does he condone the actions of taking your Visa card and turning it into like an infinite money machine.
Only at one Walmart though. Remember, you can't.
You're only limited to one Walmart.
Or like a gas station. A Casey's.
Or just a
Infinite
vending
Casey's.
machine in general. Just so you can buy like candy bars. And guns.
No, we have to make the gun vending machine first after I'm president.
But he will not condone your actions of doing that.
I don't condone the actions of shooting people, alright? If I hear anything about YouTubers telling people to go and kill people with guns, that's not me. No, that's not me. Podcast 19 has gone off the rails, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone off the rails.
For all we know, it may not even happen.
Why? Oh yeah. We'll hit stop recording, the whole thing will corrupt, and I'll just be like sad. We'll have to redo this again tomorrow.
But it'll be called Podcast 20.
Ooh. Podcast 19 for 2019, just boop.
We just don't publish a Podcast 19.
There just wasn't one. No, honestly, nobody would notice. If I called this Podcast 20, literally nobody would notice. I mean, obviously
Except
they'll
for
notice.
that one random person that just subscribes and like, I'm gonna watch all his podcasts. Wait, let's see. It says that there's a total of 20 videos.
No, 19.
It says there's a total of 19 total videos.
But there's a 20.
But yeah, his last one is number 20.
Did he delete 19? Obviously, if they've made it this far in the podcast, they already know our schemes, all of the schemes, every single
Unless
scheme.
he started with Podcast 0, because 0 is the number 2.
We didn't have a podcast 0. We had the pilot, which was episode 1.
But we called it 0.
No, I
Yeah,
should have.
Why do we never saw a 0?
I should have. Pilot should have been 0, and then podcast episode 1. I regret this. All right, guys, we're gonna have to remake the podcast now.
We're gonna redo all the podcasts.
Well, we're gonna redo them all.
Starting with 0.
No. Every single year, we just make the podcast over because we.
I think we should count them in base 12 too.
Based. Oh no. No. We got to make up numbers now too. Oh.
No,
gosh.
you don't have to make up numbers. They're real numbers. You just make up symbols. You could have to make up a new symbol because really every number in the universe uses just 10 different symbols. You just need 2 different ones, and they've already been made. There already is a base 12.
But don't we have to
Oh,
call
I
them
can-
something? You can't be like 11/20th.
Yeah, no, it is.
11/20.
No, they do have names. It's like det and et, or I don't know.
That's dumb. That's dumb. That's real dumb. What? All right. You know what?
We'll use binary.
Binary.
They'll all be numbered in binary.
Hey, we'll have to talk about it too. 1. Just like 1. What? What?
You will all be fluent in binary.
Well, I don't know. That was weird. Would you just shut up sometimes?
When the doc becomes dictator
Of the world.
of the world, he's gonna abolish all language except for binary.
Just 1.
Everyone will have to speak in binary.
Have you seen the memes?
Except for him. He's allowed to speak in English or whatever language he chooses. But if you wish to speak to him, you must speak in binary. And if he ever hears any other language but his own spoken other than binary, he will terminate your
oxygen.
life suit.
Yep.
Your life suit will now be turned off.
Now when the psychopath that lives down the street that has like 1 billion guns and just goes to the gun vending machine every day and just shoots
you now
random
become a
things,
free target.
You are now. I mean, it will still be murder. Well, no, he'd plead insanity, but whatever.
Everyone can plead insanity.
No. The crazy guy will plead insanity, but he'll still be in a mental ward or prison of some sort. But either way, you will be. There's still going to be incriminated. Now we have to cut out even more, which means I have no. This is gonna hit an hour.
You are gonna have a long video to listen to.
Yes, and I don't even have the time to do it this week. So it's just. I'm just piling on. The more I can talk, and I can't stop. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcast every other Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time. Please let me stop, and good night.